G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the west side of the map, playing in the colour teal as the English. Look at all those sheep right there. It's Whammo 1. And in the northeast side of the map, in the colour yellow, playing as the Rus, we've got Beastie Cutie. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Holy Island. It's been a long time since we've played this map, but I'm going to be honest, I kind of wish it was back. I really like the design of this map. I miss this map immensely. I think that one of the great things about this map is that it's just so open towards your enemy. So it really promotes a lot of aggression, but at the same time, it's like you can be aggressive, but you still got to focus on the economy. You get a really nice split. I remember watching a lot of great games on this map, and to be honest, it was kind of disappointing that it didn't make it to Wallalol. It was a really, really cool map. But who knows? Maybe the developers will pick it up. You know what? It sucks, right? Because it's like, yeah, maybe the developers will pick it up, and then they'll just, I don't know, like they'll put a sacred site in this corner and a sacred site over here, and 14 relics on this corner, and 6 relics down here. You know, it's just yeah. Anyway, we move forward. We move on. It looks like it's going to be dock openings from both players, though. So Wham going to be opening up with a dock. Beastie going to be opening up with a dock, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we've got for ourselves today, because my suspicion is we're going to have an absolutely action-packed game. This is a bit of a classic matchup. Horse archers used to be really strong, but then people stopped making them just simply because the English longbows were way too good at dealing with them. Keep in mind the horse archers actually been nerfed quite a bit. Now, obviously, we're on the pup here, so there's a couple of changes that have come through. Obviously, the Kremlin is one of the changes for the Rus. Whether we actually see it today or not, that's going to be a different question. Over on the other side of the map, though, it could be the Abbey of Kings that come out. It used to be known as Abbey of Memes, but now our memes are simply dreams, and reality is a king instead. We do actually have one. But it looks like both players are going to be spotting out those respective docks. Well, I take that back. Wham's still yet to spot out, but I'm sure he can suspect exactly what his enemy is up to. So, when we think about this game and we think about the likelihood that it goes late, I would say it's a highly likely to go late game, just because both of the civilizations trend towards the late game. Both civilizations spike. In my opinion, both spike in Imperial. Now, obviously, the English, I think their spike is actually a little bit earlier now, and it's not as strong as it once used to be. You know, when we think about English late game, we think about an absolute beast, a titan, something that's unmatched. You know, I can't think of a single civilization that I would rather be in the late game other than the English. Oh god, that's dangerous. Sorry, I was like sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm going through all of the matchups in my head, and I'm like, what about the Malians though, Drongo? Malian trade, and actually I think I would probably take Ottomans with a real, like an Ottoman Imperial economy over the English. I think that's probably the only exception I could make, and also because they've got the great bombards. And then, like, with siege crews, they've got the reduced setup time, which means that they can't really get hit by trebs as easily. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different factors. But, yeah, maybe, like, the Ottomans might be the only civilization that could be able to do it. But I think even at this point in the game, the English are still probably going to be the best late-game civilization. The Rus, however, are still a civilization that spike in Imperial. In Imperial. Now, they've got a couple of spikes. Obviously, they spike with the Knight in Feudal, in the Castle Age with the Horse Archer, and in the Imperial Age with the Streltsy. But I definitely feel like it's the highest there. So I think both players probably going to be trending towards working in a second town center. Don't be surprised if Wham goes for that third one, being the King's Palace. And we do see it's going to be another Kremlin that comes in. And a bit of a weird spot this Kremlin is. If we take a look here, it's kind of on the back side. It's looking to try and defend the wood line. But I do like this, that he's using it almost as a huge wooden fortress. So basically, instead of going for a wooden fortress here and then expanding or sending his wood line all the way into the depths, he can kind of keep it out here at the same time, and he defends a really solid flank, and he can use that as a flexible position because he can come down and look to try and put a lumber camp here or here. So I think this is a nice position that he's got. Doesn't really have much better than that. Now, I don't know what the circumstances are for this game. I don't know whether this is a show match. I don't know whether they've been told which landmarks they have to go. But we do also see it's going to be a council hall coming out for Wham. And this is kind of interesting to me because we've got one player who's going for the Kremlin, and the Kremlin is obviously a landmark that we would consider to be inferior to the Golden Gate. And then we've got another player playing the council hall, which we would probably consider to be superior to the Abbey of Kings. So I'm like thinking, is it a show match where they got like told, okay, these are the landmarks that you're going to make, or, you know, you can pick each other's landmarks or something like that? I don't even know, but why would you let your enemy make the council hall? I feel like the council hall is so good, or is that just, I don't know, maybe is that just the way that the meta is at the moment around the Abbey of Kings? You know, I've got a sneaking suspicion we're going to see a lot of Abbey of Kings coming up in the meta once Season 4 opens up. But the age up about to come through for both of these guys. Council Hall about to finish up. 536. Let's see it. There she goes. Over on the other side, Kremlin coming in right behind, and expect to see that militia levied. Where do they go, though? That's the question. If I've got militia, I mean, you could just take the militia down towards the dock. That's going to be an option for you. But Beastie now going to be leveraging those in. Let's have a look and see where he's going. And he's coming down to the south side of the base. Looks like it's going to be an opening with a longbow. So against the English especially, it feels like the opening into the Kremlin, into the militia, it's a bit dangerous, right? Because you've got a light melee infantry unit, and that's going to be countered by the longbowman, which has got that extra damage against light melee infantry. So it gets double damage against you. So it definitely feels a little bit painful. Now, both players are on food quite heavily on the ocean. Interestingly, a distinct lack of water combat. No one too interested in or too keen in challenging water. And I wonder exactly why that is. Do they just feel like, oh, look, I could challenge water, but it's just not worth it? You know, the defenses are just way too strong. Is that what they're thinking? But now we do have a little bit of idle time as the militia run through. And look at the villagers teeing off right now against the militia. They're going to try their best to cause a bit of damage. The best they're going to be able to do is idle time, which isn't too bad, to be honest. Now, remember, there's a couple, and I talk about this all the time. Look at all of the English bonuses that have just come in to defend against this. Villagers with bows, network of castles, longbowmen with extra range and extra damage, a council hall, which was a landmark that's already built and trains those longbows twice as fast. Already, you've just picked up like 4 different unique bonuses to the English that just make them such an insanely good defensive civilization. And part of the reason why you don't see much aggression against them anymore, people just realize you can attack an English player in the feudal age early on, but I don't like your chances, and they don't like it either, and that's why they typically do avoid it. But we do see Beastie adding in a little wall on this top side here, looking to be defensive, just in case any longbows get any ideas. But speaking of ideas, in the middle of the map, our post will go up here for Beastie, and he does jump inside that wooden fortress. Able to do a little bit of damage there onto the spearmen. Yet to move into any land units at this point. Obviously had the militia, but now going to start moving out on water. There we go. A lot of your attack ships moving out. These are the springled ships. Now back behind this, you'd expect to probably see a couple of, what would you see? A couple of archer ships maybe coming through? Yeah, there we go. A couple of archer ships coming in. The lodger galleys. On the other side, of course, the galleys for Wham. Going to be repelled, and we have attack ships coming out for him now. So springled ships there. So he's almost looking to try and play him into a little trap. Unable to catch him. Remember, the English have got a number of advantages on water. Most notably, they're more affordable boats. They cost 10% less than what the enemy pays. Up towards the north, though, we do have units making their way towards the wood line, but very, very well walled by Beastie. Beautiful stuff here. Knew exactly what his enemy would be up to. And you can see that the villagers have just made their way further down towards this Kremlin. Kremlin look like they're going to be levying the militia once again. He's not going to be cleaning up towards the north. Actually, has he levied the militia just again? I thought I saw that. Maybe I'm seeing things. Never mind. I thought I was seeing something. It kind of looks like Beastie's going castle, but it's always hard to tell. Yeah, though he does have the militia levied, so they're going to come up towards the north. He might actually be able to pick up the scout here. Yeah, he's going to get the scout for free. Very nice. Then comes in. He's right on top of him. Now, keep in mind, these units, while they are light melee infantry, they are eventually just going to die themselves. But the problem that you've got is that they're alive for another 60 seconds. So you just really have to respect this. You do have to kill them. You've got to kite them. Now scout on the south side will go down. So both players losing a scout here. Neither player having any cavalry presence just yet. Blacksmith coming up for Wham. And you got to wonder what direction he's thinking of committing. Because with a heavy presence on wood like this, it really makes it seem like... And throw into account the fact that you've also got the blacksmith. I'm starting to think... Is Wham actually going to start ramming? Because if Wham is making rams, That is going to be a whole nother level of tongue twister that I don't think I can deal with. We got ourselves a little bit of a water battle. How are you guys feeling about the water battles, by the way? Because obviously the water battles, they're not as boring as they used to be. You guys remember spin to win? They were the days. Spin to win. Obviously, we don't spin to win anymore. There's still an element of spinning, but it's more on micro. I think there's quite a bit of flanking as well. I do like the emphasis on micro on the water, but I still do find the battles a little bit hard to read. I would like to see a bit more ease in reading what the boats are, because to me, this just looks like all of the same boat. I've got no clue. These could be fishing ships. And I appreciate they're trying to go for the same aesthetic. I think the fire ships, they're quite easy to tell because they've got the fire. At least sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Fishing ships, I guess they've got the nets on them, so that kind of gives them away. But everything else in there, I've got absolutely no clue unless I click on it. I just see galleys and attack ships, and even that doesn't really tell me much other than, well, I guess your galleys just sprinkled, isn't it? But now it looks like I'm going to be on the defensive. Look at the speed coming out right now from our Rus player. Demo ship coming in from the side. We talked a little bit earlier about it, the potential for a flank with that fire ship. And he keeps bringing more in. I think he's transforming them at the same time. More units now going to be coming down for Wham. Looking to try and hold the line. Now the demo ship gets blown up. And he manages to keep his head above water, quite literally here, as he holds on through this pass. Now remember, you're not actually going to be able to walk across this shallow water. Even though it looks like you could, you can't. It's too deep. We tried on a horse. Still was too deep, unfortunately. The horse drowned. It was a sad story. And that was the story of the scout, the yellow scout, I believe it was. But demo ship once again coming in. He's got triple demo, actually, at the moment. So Beastie really trying to outplay Wham on the water. Back towards Wham's base. He has added in that third lumber camp, so it's got a bit of a nicer economic position here. And those numbers going to continue building. What do we see in regard to upgrades? No upgrades at all for the siege engineering. That's what I was mainly looking out for. But he's not even interested in it. Look at this. We've got villagers being idled. He deletes the mining camp. He deletes the mining camp because he needs the villagers to be focused down here on this southern mining camp. Pretty crazy move when you think about it, right? Like the fact that someone would just be willing to draw another mining camp. But I guess you've got a gold mine right here that you could potentially look to take out. I wonder if Wham's going to be going around for it. Yeah, look, Wham's not the type of player who would ignore that. So it does make a lot of sense that he would go around. But now we've got the continued attack coming through. The galley is going to be looking to poke and prod the enemy. Keep in mind, there's plenty of docks along the shoreline here. I love the fact that they're doing this because there's a number of aspects as to why this is good. Number one is it gives you a nice little healing zone. Number two, reinforcements. Number three, sneaky little demo ship comes out. Boom. And of course, number four is going to be your emplacements. You can always use the dock emplacements, which have a range of 11. And that's a pretty big range. That's like from this dock all the way out to like here-ish. It's pretty damn far. Demo's on the back, though. It's that tri-unit composition, that 1-1-1 that we're so used to seeing. A little bit like a GUA game. Now, these are all attack ships. Every single one of these. He's got 16 attack ships out. Also got the militia out. Those aren't militia. Where are the militia at? There are militia out somewhere on this map. There they are. Running a little bit forward at the moment, but just kind of chilling out. Hanging out with John Cena. Demo ship does go down. And I think I find this quite interesting, right? Because we did see the meta trending towards larger amounts of galleys compared to larger amount of sprinkled ships. But it seems like Beastie's gone one way. He says, I'm just going to mass up sprinkled ships, and that's going to be able to beat you. So I'm curious to see how it goes, because the number for Wham isn't the best. He's only got 13, but he does have 6 sprinkled ships himself, so maybe that's going to be enough just to round it out. But a large focus is on the water at the moment. And I think that's what I like about this map so much, is that there is a large emphasis on the water, but even if you lose the water, sure, you lose the water, but you don't lose the game. And I think that's the best part about it, is because right now, you are buying time for your transition, and our first transition comes through. It's going to be the King's Palace drop down for Wham 01 on the bottom side of his base. Towards the north side, Beastie, he's got a lot of gold in the bank. Not quite enough food to age up just yet, though. Continuing to push down so many sprinkled ships. It's a crazy amount of sprinkled ships that he's rocking at the moment. 21. Keep in mind, once he ages up to the castle age, he's going to be able to get up even more upgrades. But he's got to be careful. These sprinkled ships are on the hunt. And we enter into the cinematic right now. The cinematic mode, because Beastie Cutie looks to put his pedal to the metal and get out there. Look at the amount of Springle chips that are there. It is just crazy. You can see the pathing coming through as well. He's trying to get those demos up. Ideally, he wants to bring the Springle chips up with the demos and then set the demos off. It can be hard, though. The demos are so much faster than the Springle chips. A huge fleet coming out from Beastie now. We bring back that UI for you. We'll enter over towards that income per minute and get an idea of where these guys are at. Beastie at the moment sitting at about 2,600 income a minute. Compare that over to Wham, who's sitting at about 1,700. So there's a big difference between these two when it comes to their economies. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. I guess because Wham was aging up. That's probably a large reason. You know, maybe he's taken 10 villagers to age up. Beastie's taken 10 as well, but he's only just moved them. So it's going to take some time before that gold number or that wood number starts to slow down. And it's going to be the Abbey of the Trinity that he goes for. So no real surprise there. Some pretty good relics on this map. We've got 3, 4, 5 relics with the 6th relic over here. Of course, in the shape of a crucifix. That's obviously the... actually, how many relics are we talking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, 6. I thought I was counting crazy. I thought I saw 7 relics. I'm like, excuse me for a second? But no, it's not. Little attack moving out. And so now we start to see those upgrades coming through. Armored hull. Going to be the first one. In for Wham. Beastie on the other side also going to be going for armored hull, increasing the health of all military ships by 20% and the ranged armor by 1. Militia in on the backside. Tries his best to get this villager. I don't know exactly why do these militia have more attack? Do they get... Oh, he killed a vill. The militia's still going strong. Sorry, militia man. So I think in the castle age you get extra damage on your militia. That's probably the way that it works. You know what they should do? They should also reduce the cooldown on the militia once you reach the castle age. Does it say? What did it say? Okay. I thought it said something about being halved. Beastie drops down another abbey. Or rather, another monastery. So he knows that he's going to be picking up lots of relics this game. Warrior Monk going to get picked off in the middle of the map, though. Nice read here from Wham. Just keeping those units just outside of the range of the outpost. The wooden fortress. Now Beastie going to head up towards that north side. Look to pick up that next relic. And a huge battle. Oh my god, a massive battle. This is the biggest water battle I've ever seen. Take a look at the amount of units that Beastie's got right now on the water. That's a crazy amount of units. This is by far the biggest naval battle I've ever seen in a 1 versus 1. In a team game, no. In a 1v1, yeah. I don't think it ever really gets to this point. Because normally it's like you've kind of got shotguns at each other's heads and somebody pulls the trigger eventually, whereas here, no one's pulled the trigger and we're sitting at like, what, 15 minutes, 16 minutes? Huge economies coming through. And now Beastie turns. And he chills. Look at that English range. That's that English range coming through. That's the unique upgrade. English, as I said before, they've got a couple of bonuses on the water. Number 1 is that they've got cheaper ships through shipwrights, but number 2 is through Admiralty, which gives them an extra 1 range, or at least it used to. I'm not sure if they changed the name of it. I know that they definitely changed what the text did. English ships used to just get bonus +1 armor. Oh, sorry, +1 armor, +1 range as a default. But then they changed it. They're like, actually, we're going to make that the upgrade. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that you pay to have the extra range now, and you're going to get your discount for free. Because it used to be that you'd have to pay to get your discount. And that didn't make sense, right? Like, hey, fork over 200 resources so you can pay less for your ships. And it's like, no, I'm good, thanks, bro. I'm just going to keep making the expensive ships. And eventually you do make like 10,000 resources worth of ships, and it would have paid off. But by that point, it's like, yeah, I don't care. So I think that was a very smart design decision. But Knights, Lancers coming out from both players here. Spear's getting a nice little skewer. We do hear that dock on the south side is going to be taken out. There's a few hulks here. I think they're not called hulks. I apologize. They're called Lodger attack ships. And look on the south side. Look at the mass that Wham's got. Only 16. Not a huge amount here. And I think he's actually having quite a lot of trouble here against Beastie. Beastie with 7 tiles of range. I think compared to the galley with 7.5, yeah. So 7.5 range. Knights getting cleaned up towards that north side. And Beastie really looking to push out. We enter into the cinematic mode right now because this is by far the biggest naval battle I've ever seen in 1 versus 1. Nice little micro from the edge of the map. He tries to bring in the demo. Second one hits. Third one hits as well. Beautiful demo. Oh, my lord. Look at them rolling like beetlings. He gets massive hits right there. Huge damage coming out from Wham. Beastie has lost absolutely everything. There's only a handful of boats here. The Bannerlings roll through and absolutely rip the Marines. Oh, that's the wrong game. Apologies. The demo ships have done the exact same thing. Beautiful stuff coming out from Wham. That was game-winning micro right there. How did he split those through? I didn't even see the second lot coming through. The first lot, I caught the little flank around the edge, but that second lot was absolutely insane. That's probably one of the best English plays I've ever seen when it comes to the water. Let's get that UI back in, as we've got walls coming up across the entirety of this map. Wham is looking to secure his late game lead. Farm transition on the land also going to be happening. And this is how you know the balance on water is actually pretty decent. I mean, they're fighting for water, but what does it even mean at this point? 84 villages each right now. Okay, I lose water. Yeah, I lose 10 vills. So what? 10 vills. I replace that in what? A minute and a half? It's not very long. Beastie adding in the second TC now. Looking to continue scaling. Interestingly, still manages to scale with his opponent. Demo ships come through. They get some big hits once again. Jeez, Wham is getting good at doing these fire ship things, isn't he? Now Knights managing to make it through to the wood line. And now you can see that real power of the Kremlin with the buff that it's got. I mean, we can't actually see the buff. You can just imagine it. He does actually call militia to defend. Interesting use of militia. I do like it. He's also got +1 on those bad boys. So they do a total of 25 damage against cavalry. That's actually pretty good when you think about it. Not as good as a spearman, but still pretty good. They're going to be able to help out here. And of course, the English Knights are going to be heading in the opposite direction. At the same time, on the other side of the map, we've got a huge attack coming in. A little bit of extra armor, a little bit of extra damage coming through on these Knights because of the Warrior Monk. A lot of relics being taken. 5 relics taken off this map right now. All relics from the mainland have left the building. Third town center now for Beastie as well. He wants to scale to the late game. Do we dare see a third town center added from Wham here? Potentially. Is an option. And I'm curious about what unit composition Wham looks to go for. On land, I definitely feel like the best unit comp you can go for, as the English, is Crossbow Knight. I just love it to pieces. I guess the other option that you could look to go for is Crossbow and Spears. I think they're very, very strong as well. But I think against the Rus, you probably want to keep up with their mobility, and Knights are definitely going to help. You've just got to remember against the Rus, they do have a couple of advantages. So, notably, they do have access to Night Sabers and to Boyar's Fortitude, which are going to be buffing up the health and the damage of their Knights. So, you got to watch out for that. So, you know, you're not always going to have the one-on-one advantage against them. But in the event that you do fight in your base, you've always got access to network of castles. And, of course, network of citadels as well. Which makes English have the strongest Knights in the game. And a lot of people didn't know that. But English have the strongest Knights in the game. As long as they've got access to the network of citadels bonus. They have the strongest Knights. They will beat any other Knight just simply because of the extra attack speed. Keep trying to come up now for Beastie. Looks like a very optimistic keep to come up here. This is a pretty decent push coming out from Wham. A lot of villagers in here and a huge amount of Knights. Beastie might be in trouble. Beastie's going to have to cancel the keep. Lord Doubt is smiling today. And Beastie loses villagers. More vills coming in as well. There's no way this gets up. There's no way this gets up. Beastie cutie. You are a madman. You are dreaming right now if you think this is going to get up. Lord Doubt smiling upon him. The scaffolding is coming down and the keep with 2 villagers on it remaining, 3 villagers on it remaining does get up. Lord Doubt does not smile today. He is frowning. He is frowning down. But Beastie lost a lot of villagers right there. I'm going to guess he lost probably close to 12 or 15 villagers. It was an awful lot of villagers. I'm impressed that he got the keep up, though. I didn't think he was going to be able to get it up. down towards the south side. I was about to make a joke, and then I'm like, oh, you shouldn't say that. We're on YouTube. I'm not kidding you, right? Like, my videos have been getting demonetized so badly recently. I'm not kidding you, right? I say one swear word, like 18 minutes through the video, and it'll be like a 40-minute video. One swear word, the F word. And I'm not kidding you, YouTube will demonetize it. And like, I appeal, and it's like, a human has reviewed this video and found that it is not suitable. I'm like, bro, I said one F word, like 20 minutes through the video. Why are you demonetizing it for? And YouTube's just like, sorry, it's against our hateful conduct. And so, this is the new Aussie Drongo, ladies and gentlemen. We're a family-friendly, this is a family-friendly YouTube channel now. So these videos are for kids. So any of you little kiddies at home, anybody watching some Miss Rachel, welcome. I'm Mr. Drongo. Hello, Mr. Drongo. Can you count to 1, 2, 3 with me? Oh, sorry, I don't know what tangent I've gone off on a tangent right now. I apologize, guys. I'll be honest, it's getting late right now. It's getting late. I probably shouldn't be casting this one. I should be in bed right now, but I said to myself, I just want to get another Beastie game in. They're just so good. I love watching Beastie games. Except when he's playing against the AI. But I don't want to talk about that. Keeper's going to go down. Surely the keeper's going to go down. It is burning. And Wham doing a really decent job. I'm liking this composition that he's got. Just going for mass spears. I guess realizing that his enemy's just going to be making knights. And so he's only making spears. Literally 100% spears. I guess 80% spears. 80% spears. Because he is making knights himself. So somehow on the water, Wham lost. But this is what I love about this map. Just because you lose the water doesn't mean you lose the game. I think Wham could probably go with like a little bit of a farm delete here. Okay. And then you wall across this area right here. And you're going to be fine. Because your enemy's always going to be able to break through these walls and then begin to hit the base. So you have to move the walls back. I think that's the best thing that you can do. God, look at the amount of spears he's got out here. What's Beastie's response on land? He's just going to go for walls himself. But still we're seeing knights coming out. Look at the farm transition coming through for Beastie. Talk about the farmland of Mother Russia. Look at that stuff right there coming down. Sacred site in the center of the map, getting picked up. No possibility for a sacred victory. Second sacred site is out here, completely guarded by Beastie's ships. So now Beastie's just kind of biding his time. Wants to try and pull off that advantage in the water. Do we dare see trade? I think this is going to be trade ships coming in for Beastie. But now those knights have made it through. Militia again getting called. Look at these bad boys coming out here. A little bit of extra health as well. 125 health. These units aren't too bad, honestly. 125 health. And considering you just kind of get them and you can use them immediately, I do like that. But now Beastie losing villages. He does have a bit of a Vil lead here, though. Keep that in mind. Able to repel the knights from his base. But those spears going to be running through it. Crossbow's going to get caught in the crossfire. And now we got a little bit of a trouble. A little bit of trouble right here. No real archers to help defend this. Militia doing a decent job of holding. And Beastie trying to hold on for dear life. These Vils are still back here, and I think Beastie realizes he's going to have to make a run for it. Manages to get through. The pathing wasn't the best, but he does save the villagers' lives. At least a fair few of them there. Some going down, but the militia doing a great job to hold on here. We can still see a single militia staying alive. 2 health he had. Does eventually go down to a spear. And over on that south side of the map, more and more spears coming through. So many spears right now. Wham is just playing it like a feudal age play. Now remember, he's obviously castle. He's got a lot of things going for him in this age. Most notably the second town center, which acts as, or the landmark, I guess you could say, that acts as the second town center. But remember, Beastie does have the 3rd TC down. He's also still got water. And he's got trade. 160 gold, 160 wood. Indeed. That is a lot. Wham isn't trading. No, sorry, Bob. It's Beastie. Can water trade pull this back for Beastie? Because at the moment, I can't help but feel like... Oh, I tell you what. Wham might be in a bit of trouble here. I felt like Wham was doing really good with this push. You know, he was taking out villagers. He was causing idle time. But spear numbers starting to rise. Wham down about 1,000 points. 1,200 points. 1,200 score at the moment. So he's got quite a bit of distance to make up here. Farm transitions coming through. Well and truly. Well and truly that farm transition's coming down. I like the walls that he's put up, though. Also looking to put down outposts here. Going to be looking to secure this gold vein. Remember, Beastie going to be getting most of his gold from this trade. Also has access to a huge amount of wood from this as well. 160 wood, 160 gold. Are there any upgrades that he could be getting that he's missing out on? I don't think so. I think he's got all of them. Actually, did they get rid of the movement speed? I think they got rid of the movement speed. There used to be an upgrade for movement speed, but I'm pretty sure they got rid of it. They were the days. You remember? I remember playing the French on like, no way. Oh, never mind. So he's going for a Berkshire Palace. Sorry. He's going for a Berkshire Palace. There you go. There you go, English friends. My friends from Manchester. Manny. Or is it Manchester? What's the most posh place in England? If you had to say, oh, he's from this place and be like, oh, that guy's a bit of a nonce. He's from, oh, look at Rory. He's a bit of a nonce, isn't he? From Manchester. No, you know where the real ones are from? Geordie Shore, man. That's the place that you want to go, right there. But speaking of talking about where you want to go, this Berkshire looks like it's going to be getting up. I think there's going to be enough units here to hold. The longbow is able to focus down all of those horse archers, but more and more horsemen are going to be running in here. If this Berkshire does get up, we've got ourselves a game on our hands. And indeed, the Berkshire does get up. Wham was down 1,200 points. But with this Berkshire up, he's going to be able to secure up a huge amount of land here. Still down about 1,000 score. Once he ages up, though, I suspect it's going to rocket up, and indeed it does. High armory thrown down in response. Now, remember, I love the high armory. It's such a great landmark. I don't know exactly where it is. It's somewhere around here, I do assure you guys. There it is. 3 siege workshops getting thrown down. Expect to see 1, 2, 3 trebuchets all coming out of these siege workshops almost immediately. And it's just going to be such an easy response here for Wham, or rather for Beastie, because his enemy's made a landmark that he needs to kill with trebs. The reason you need to kill this landmark with trebs is because they've increased the range of every single attack from this landmark to 15 tiles. Look at the range on that. That is absolutely ludicrous. I need to get a picture of that. I mean, this landmark is just absolutely crazy. I love the sound it makes as well. Look at the arrows that it's firing off. I wish you'd put more units inside of it. It's one of the most beautiful landmarks in this game, though. It does look a little bit funny, though. And that, I can't help but feel like I'm playing Civ 6 with that monk standing there, and he looks so big compared to that keep. All right. We got units under attack on this south side. A little bit of damage on the shoreline. Is BC trying to re-establish himself out here? Or rather, Wham trying to re-establish himself out here. Elite upgrades coming through. Elite longbows. Elite spearmen. And elite men-at-arms. You can see those little gold hats. That's what's going to tell you that these units are elite. Longbows, on the other hand, they don't get gold hats. But they do get... I think they get a little bit of gold embroidery on the gloves or something like that. Yeah, you can kind of see it around there under the bow. A little bit of a ring around the top of the hat. And we do have incendiary arrows now coming through. On the other side, though, we've got mounted guns. Replaces springled ship weaponry with cannons which provide greater range and damage. Oh, don't excite me, Beastie. Don't excite me. And the Berkshire Palace having an absolute field day out here, just taking names. Mangonel moving through. Couple trebs out. Double treb. Should be more than enough to deal with the Berkshire. Now remember, it is a Berkshire, meaning it's a keep that is a landmark. And because it's a landmark, it costs wood to repair. Doesn't cost stone. Because it costs wood, it's basically infinite repairing that you've got access to. Treb's now firing down upon the Berkshire. Ville's immediately getting pulled to repair. He doesn't want to lose this Berkshire. A little bit of an attack coming through. Not a whole lot. Beastie with not a lot of military units on the field at the moment. Starting to make me a little bit concerned. Beastie, where's your military at? You got a lot of resources in the bank. You're sitting at 192 pop, but where is all of your 138 vills. 40... I'm a little bit worried right now. I guess 7 of them are ships. Is that why? Oh, look at this. Oh, he's actually picked up the upgrade for them. They've got 9 tiles. Look at the damage that they do to the buildings. Okay, that's not bad. But still, like, what can you achieve with this? Even if you park it right on the shoreline, like, congratulations. You killed a mill and a farm and a villager with 3 HP. But look at this. We've got spearmen and longbows moving up on these trebuchets. Not a lot of units here to defend them. They're going to be heading back towards these walls. But Beastie getting chased away from this position. And it looks like the English longbow spear, the feudal composition, is just playing out incredibly strong right now in the late game. Not looking for knights, not looking for crossbows, just sticking with the good old-fashioned feudal forever, and continues to push down the center of the enemy's base. Mangonel behind the walls, triple mangonel, quadruple mangonel. Oh my lord, look at it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce that CG Cutie has been reassembled. He is back online. The Rus have brought him back. Spearman moving in. Underneath the additional town centers here. Managing to idle up that economy. Mangonel's getting off some decent shots here. Big hits. But not a whole lot of damage, though. I wonder if he's picked up the unique Mangonel technology. Not unique Mangonel. Actually, I think that there is. It's, yeah, he has. The one that does the unpacking and repacking instantly. Men-at-Arms getting fired upon. Look at the Mangonels. He's actually going mass Mangonels right now. We're up to 7 Mangonels. I feel like I'm coaching Shy right now. Shy, is that you? Has he got his map like this? For anybody who doesn't know, I have a Patreon and I coach people on there, and I've got one guy, his name's Shy, and he plays his map like this. Every single time he comes into the game, he orientates his map in this direction, and I'm just like, Shy, please stop doing that. It's throwing me off, and it's so hard watching him. But he to Shy's credit, he did switch his map around, and then he said, look, Drongo, I've been playing games for 20 years, and I've done this in every single game, and I can't stop. And I'm going to be honest, there's a little part of me that kind of liked it. But anyway, Men-at-Arms, nowhere to be really seen in this fight. There's a handful on the front line, but at the end of the day, let's see how much damage these Mangonels can do to him. Able to take out the first bunch, hits it, trying his best to micro them back. And look at this, we've got a Kremlin defense coming through. The Mangonels together with the Kremlin. Does he hold it? That's going to be the question, but he's in a little bit of trouble. These units are just completely idling out the economy, able to take out villages. Mangonel's just getting ripped apart here. Crossbow's finally going to be joining the fray. And look at this, a couple spearmen from the backside. Something that no one was expecting. Defensive keep going to be going up for Beastie. I'm starting to worry about him, though. Where are his villages? I know he's got an economy. I just don't know where the villages are, because at the end of the day, Beastie's on 126 vills. So are they up? Yeah, they're up here to the north. 47 vills up here. I guess he's got the traders as well. That's the other thing to note. He's got a lot of trade. 4k wood a minute. It's a huge amount. Springald's now sitting behind the wall. He's actually going for it. He's going for a mass siege composition here. And look at the outpost pushing up. This is an insane game that we've got on our hands. Beastie is trying to hold on, but the wall's not complete. And with an incomplete wall, it means there is the potential to get around it. There are knights now moving towards that north side as well. Once those knights get around there, I'm telling you, Beastie's going to be in a whole world of hurt. Not that he isn't already. The keep. Unfortunately, this one is going to be smiled upon. Lord Doubt does indeed look to smile upon that keep. And there's the knights hitting the front side. We see the double English trebs coming out as well. Remember, English trebs can be made at the keep. And he does close out the front gate. And now Beastie scratching their head. And he's got a bunch of crossbows here, but you can't help but feel that this spearman mass has just been overwhelming in its power. Keep gets cancelled. Does Beastie look elsewhere for it? He doesn't have the resources for it, though. Even if he was going to do it, where would he go? I guess maybe over here? But we do see knights making their way up towards these villages. With these villages being found, Beastie's going to be in a really tough spot. Indeed, he's going to be in a really tough spot. He taps out. Good game gets called, fellas. What an absolute brilliant game right there. A cracker of a game. We had ups, we had downs, we had lefts, we had rights. But most importantly, we had each other. And I want you to have Beastie, and I want you to have Wham. So go check them out. I'll leave links in the description of where you can catch them both. Live on Twitch. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.